Hey there, YouTube. I'm back, and I have a lot to share because I just finished my first week of my KL art journey. And it's been quite a struggle, it's been quite a journey, and I've learned a lot. I made a lot of mistakes. I struggled a lot, but I think it's all worth it because I'm moving forward and I'm glad to show what I learned so that I can get better from it. So without further ado, let's begin. On day one of downloading Krita and getting my drawing tablet set up and everything, here's what I produced, and I just wanted to get a basic grasp of my abilities to draw, so I just drew faces. But when I hold that drawing pen, I just can't really make it obey my commands. Like when I have a pencil, I can just draw a line, or I can draw a pretty good circle. I can just do what I want to do with a pencil because I have so much dexterity with it because I've been using it for years. Even when you go to school, basic schooling has you learning how to move your pencil for years to make those little circles for your A's and your O's and things like that. So of course you're going to have some decent dexterity with a pencil. I have zero knowledge or understanding of muscle memory of how to manipulate a stylus, so all my lines are shaky and it really sucks. And I've wondered whether it's my tablet, which is really old. It's a used tablet and it's over a year old. Like, I know they're supposed to last longer than that, but mine's like a used one and it's a year old. So whatever, you can see the results on the right. Got like a monkey in the upper right, and we got some funny looking fellows in the bottom. So I tried drawing lines because I couldn't even draw lines. I couldn't draw lines. It's the most basic thing at all. You can see just how squiggly the lines. And I erased those like a million times. I drew them like a million times, like over and over. Draw, erase, draw, erase, draw, erase, because I couldn't draw anything. And I tried to listen to the advice of people to use your elbow or this or that. I just eventually gave up on that and used my well, not exactly. I kept my wrist on the tablet screen. And I kind of used my elbow, but I feel like I have the most control when I have my wrist resting on my drawing surface, so that's what I'm going to continue doing, basically. And I can technically use my elbow while doing that, so whatever. Yeah, that wasn't fun, but I did it for many, many hours. And then I drew a lot of circles. A lot of circles. And these ones I often drew them, erase them, drew them, erase them. So I drew thousands of circles. Right? I deleted many of the other drawings of them. This doesn't give even 1% of what I drew. But it helped. It helped improve my dexterity somewhat because I drew like a baby with a crayon before. So I really needed to get better at having some basic control over my stylus. And so I drew more shitty faces, and you got the reference on the left, generic anime boy face, but I drew a lot of evil clones of him because the right side of their face is ridiculously stretched out. Just look at the one in the bottom. This is before I started flipping my screen, so they look trash. But I drew one that's half decent. It still has the same kind of stretchy face issue, but oh well, I got better over time. I just had to get through you have to get through the sucky phase, the trash, garbage phase when you just have to look at your garbage artwork. So that's what I'm getting through right now. Day 3, I drew a lot more circles to improve my dexterity. You can see there was an insane number of circles, and I was thinking, man, a person would truly have to be insane to have this dedication to draw this many circles. Because I drew pages of that kind of stuff. But I did it, and I think I'm better for it. Okay, you have to be obsessive if you want to get good at something. People will call you extreme, but you have to be extreme or obsessive if you want to get good, in my humble opinion. So that's what I did. I drew a lot of the same shapes over and over again for hours. Yeah. So day 4, I started getting some improvements. The one on the top right was still had the stretch faced itis. His face is just stretched. He has like an extra half brain. His eyes way off in the corner, you know. But I didn't use any reference for it, so it's since I didn't have a reference, and I'm drawing better than my other stretched face itis abominations. It's not as bad as, you know, I'd want to say it to be, because I used no reference for it. So yeah, I mean, you just live and you learn, and stretchitis is the bane of my face drawings. So I'm just trying to get past that. So day 5, I actually tried to learn Krita. Beforehand, I just went in and zero knowledge. I just went in and just mashed my keyboard and my stylus against the thing, and I just drew. That's all I did. So I spent 5 days not knowing how to use my program at all. So on day 5, I learned a lot by watching many tutorials, a lot of art videos, and I learned the most important tip of the week, which is to always flip my canvas. Another thing I learned from watching these art videos and stuff is how to actually hold my stylus correctly. I was doing something weird where I was bending my pointer finger inward, and it hurt, but I had just like horrible coordination, whatever. I was just messing up my hand, and I fixed that. So I learned a lot in day 5. And I learned about the stabilizer. You can see those perfect lines as a result of the stabilizer. But I prefer the weighted line to the stabilizer because it just doesn't mess me up when I'm trying to draw circles or curves. And so I'd only use a stabilizer to draw straight lines, like if I wanted to draw like a building. But other than that, I don't think I'd use a stabilizer because it just messed me up. And on the top, I have that little doodle that actually took a little bit of time to draw, believe it or not, because I kept on changing the size and the shape of the mouth and the placement of the eyes a little. Funnily enough, I just wanted to get like a decent angry face that actually conveyed anger instead of like confusion or something because of my horrible coordination and proportion knowledge. Anyway, here's a bonus. I did a random drawing. It wasn't very good, but it helped inspire me. Like, I drew it at like 9 or 10 or 11 p.m. I drew it really late, and the teeth look like dark corn cobs. Everything is like off. It's not very good. It's very rough. You can even see there's just some messy lines. I wasn't trying to make something perfect, but it inspired me the next day to do better. So that's what I tried doing. I got a picture of an actual human portrait because anime portraits are limited when it comes to actually learning basic anatomy. So I tried to do that by shading an actual portrait. It didn't go so well, but it was my first shot at it, so I'm not going to diss on my own efforts, you know? It is what it is. I had to try, fail, and learn from that. And that's my process. So here we go. Day 7, I just did everything I could to draw the most perfect face I could, and it turned out pretty well. I like it. I know, of course, that I'm not an amazing artist. No one needs to tell me that, really. But for me, it's my struggle against myself. For me, I am competing against myself to get better and better. And I have my end goal of becoming a KL artist in the end. But for now, my competition's against me. And I'm kicking my ass, right? I'm beating myself with this drawing. I really destroyed my previous self. My previous self should be ashamed. Or perhaps not, because my previous self is what helped my current self draw this drawing. And in comparison to my previous drawings, it's a masterpiece. Objectively, it's not, but in comparison, I really improved a lot, especially on the ears. I really researched and learned how to draw ears. I'm still going to have to work on them more, but before I couldn't even draw them at all. I couldn't draw anything when it comes to ears. So now I have a decent grasp of it. So it's a big win. I'm excited. We'll see where it takes me next. Next, I think I'm going to work on probably the nose or the eyes. Eyes give me the most trouble. I spend the most time trying to draw eyes, so yeah. Then I shaded the drawing, and it was a really shitty job of shading, but it was the best job I ever done because it was just a shitty job of shading and not the usual soul-killing mess that makes you want to delete the drawing. So with the shading, I basically didn't know what I was doing as usual, but I just kind of went at it, and the reason why the shading is a lot better is because I didn't even try to shade that much. I basically just colored it in, and so it looked better. Shaded a little bit in the ears, a little bit under the neck, a little bit under the hair, and I kind of left the rest alone for the most part. And it's a shitty job of shading, but it's a lot better than usual. So I guess I'll start learning how to do that more. But for now, it's going to be dexterity and proportion more than shading, because I learned that this week dexterity, proportion, and shading are the 3 keys to becoming a KL artist. I'm focusing on improving my dexterity first because when I first tried drawing on my tablet, it's a lot worse than drawing on paper for the reasons I already explained. And I ordered a new tablet, which may help with that, and because my tablet's just old, it's scratched, it's not the best. It's actually even kind of broken, like the bottom panel's kind of coming off. Like it was a used tablet that one of my siblings got me for my birthday. So it was probably already 2 or 3 years old, and that was like a year and a half ago. So it's an old tablet. It was just sitting in some cupboard somewhere. I pulled it out. So hopefully the new tablet I get will have give me an ability to draw better, I guess. Anyway, I also learned that anime reference faces are a helpful beginning step for learning basic proportions. I read a long comment by someone on Quora about how anime faces, stop drawing anime faces because it'll make you horrible at drawing or whatever. And I disagree. And I agree at the same time, because I believe that drawing simplistic, cartoonish faces is a great step towards becoming a better drawer, especially if you like the cartoon. Let's say you're a big fan of, I don't know, Calvin and Hobbes or something, right? If you draw a gazillion Calvin and Hobbes character faces, in the very first month or two of learning to draw, it's going to help you if you get very good at placing the eyes and nose in the right place and just making your drawing consistent with the reference. You're going to get better dexterity mainly, maybe slightly proportion, but better dexterity, because dexterity is really important. And anime faces are a little more complicated than cartoon characters, so they're going to give you a little bit of dexterity, a little bit of proportion knowledge. So I think it's not useless in the first month or two, especially if you like anime or cartoons or whatever, to draw your favorite characters in the first maybe first month or two. I'll see. When I start learning more, I can become more of a advice giver. For now, I'm just 1 week into this journey. But I understand that later on, I'm going to want to learn how to draw actual human heads, so I can actually have an idea of how to draw actual human anatomy. So I had ordered some anatomy drawing books, and I'm going to read and study those. Once they get here, they're going to get here in less than a week. Until then, I'm going to keep on drawing some anime faces and anime hair and whatever, and just work on my general dexterity, which still needs a boost before it gets the same level of dexterity as my drawing on paper. And I may end up spending less time on faces, a little less, and more on bodies and figure drawing, because I think I'll learn how to draw faces faster than I think, if that makes sense. That faces are going to make sense to me a little quicker than I expected. Previously, I said it was going to take 7 months for me to draw faces. First would be the 3 different perspectives. Second, it would be the 2 different inclines. And third, it would be 2 months of drawing emotions. But now I think it might just take 5 months, and I'll go straight into body drawing. And I might even start a little bit of drawing, torsos and arms and hands before I even end drawing faces. Like I mix it in a little, because drawing the same thing over and over again can honestly just get kind of tiresome. And I'm dedicated. I'm willing to do that, but it's a good thing to keep my dopamine levels higher because I think it helps me learn to draw better, faster, gets me in the zone more, if that makes sense. Maybe I'm wrong about that, but I've heard that apparently if you have more dopamine in your brain when you're drawing, you learn how to draw faster. Maybe. I mean, I don't know yet. I'm just 1 week into this, but I made some progress. It's week 1 of 100 or so weeks, because it's going to be like a 2-year journey for the most part. And it's an ambitious goal for me to become an amazing KL artist in 2 years. Someone who could, I guess, surpass World's End Harem, which has some pretty decent art, and in my humble opinion, and with shading skills that are like workable shading skills. To have, I guess, my end goal, to give a solid, concrete end goal, I'd want to be able to draw just as good as World's End Harem in a reasonable amount of time. So I'm not spending like an hour and a half drawing a face, maybe spending like 30 minutes on drawing a face at most. And I'm able to shade. But I want to go beyond. That's my beginning basic step of becoming a KL artist. I want to get better. So for now, this is the starting phase, and we're gonna work on drawing those faces. It's gonna get better. I have another week ahead of me to draw. I'm gonna keep on working at it. I'm gonna start taking an art course at college. Maybe that'll help. Who knows? And I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.